Chelsea is going to be speaking with us here today on upgrades, but specifically diving into your upgrade script, diving into your upgrade mentality. You know, we've heard so many great talks on upgrades. Hell, Chelsea has given some of these talks before, but really, she has taken such a surgical approach to her upgrades over the last 12 months. We've seen it in her results, we've seen it in just the instruction and the conversations that we've had, but she has been able to dive into this and really take it from not just this binary, do you know your script, are you not, are you getting upgrades, are you not, but really sort of peeling the layers back to like, why do people upgrade, what stops them from upgrading, what options are there for customers if they're not comfortable or we can't get them to pull the trigger on a full upgrade. And all of a sudden, for me, I think I'm doing good with, it's like, hey, I'm solid with upgrades and I can drop down to a 5-piece. Like, she sent me her outline and like there's stuff in there that I hadn't thought about in 3 years and other things I've never even considered. And so I am so excited for this talk. I just want to love on Chelsea, y'all. I'm sure you all know she's over $6 million in sales, and that's such rarefied air. So few people in the history of our company ever have or ever will do that. And guys, Chelsea's always had a strength, consistent average order, working great at busy shows like the fair, is working great at slower events like federal bases, but always getting a high order count relative to the show that she is actually working. Guys, whether it's upgrades, whether it's partial upgrades, the thing that I think all of us know about Chelsea from working with her is that her customers love working with her. She has a focus on customer relationships, a focus on retention and loyalty, and people don't do that if they don't feel cared for and respected and heard. And that allows her to maximize her opportunity, and we need that goodness for all of us. So, guys, to bring it to us with the big stick on upgrades, let me turn it over to Chelsea.
Gosh, Brian, you're too good to me. I love all of you. Love seeing your faces. And I am in Germany right now. It's 10:22 p.m. and I took a night off from beer because I need it. Alicia Andor kept me up 2 nights ago till 3 a.m. It's her fault, not mine. We still showed up to work and slayed yesterday. I have no idea how, but I need a break from beer. So, when Josh and Brian reached out to me and then asked me to talk about ultimate upgrades, kind of the direction that I wanted to take this for the group that I'm talking to. Anytime I give a message, I don't want to waste time with fluff that you guys have heard before. So frankly speaking, this is Ulti Upgrades Part 2. This is not Ulti Upgrades Part 1. I gave Part 1 at the net meeting. So if you want to hear more about how I'm selling upgrades and how I sold so many of them at the state fair last year and how I sold 1 or 2 today, one was a starter upgrade, one was a partial upgrade. If you want to hear more of how to just like sell the actual full upgrade, and just get them to say yes to that first option, it's all in the pre-framing, and that's net meeting. So go back and listen to that on Vector Connect. We're not giving that talk again. This is completely new stuff. And what Josh asked me to talk about was where to pivot next. So it's those customers that we realize they're a candidate for a upgrade, and we open the brochure, we do all the pre-framing, we pitch the upgrade, and they say no, or they are just not going for getting the complete upgrade today. It's not happening. What do you do in that moment when they give you an objection to the upgrade, whether it's the pieces of their price? Like, where do you go next? How do you still try to close the upgrade? Not just how do you pre-frame it so you can sell more of them and talk about more of them, but like, how do you actually get them to give you your credit card? And I love that I'm taking this spin on it with this group because you all are so advanced, and I get so nervous. Like, it really humbles me to like talk to this group because all of you are so gifted in so many ways. Like, I don't get nervous speaking at an FP1. I don't get nervous speaking at a net meeting because I feel like our team is so great that we're the ones on the stage, right? We're the ones giving all the content, giving all the messages. But like, speaking to you guys today, I'm just like, oh my God, I hope you guys learned something from this. It's very exciting, but humbling, but nerve-wracking. So this message is going to be like the questions of, okay, they said no to an ultimate upgrade. How do I drop down gracefully? People say things to me like, well, Chelsea, it's funny that you said that to your customer, but I could never say that. Bullshit. There are things you can be saying. That is a limiting belief. There are things you can say to keep your customers there and still sell them the full upgrade, or drop down and get something that's 75% of the cost of an ultimate upgrade that's still 1K CPO, and it moves the needle for your fair. How do you help the customer? How do you serve the customer with their budget, their needs, their ideal, not yours, in mind to help them get something versus nothing, right? How do you create a client for life? And this is like just a mindset thing. Over the years, I've tracked all of it. I've raised my average order very slowly. I'm amazed by the people that have these massive average orders. That is not my main strength. My main strength is helping customers get something, helping them get on the list, having a high closing ratio. And that's why they're going to have me talk about this. So, Kelly, shout out to you. I don't know if you've watched season 5 of Friends, Kelly, episode 16, the one about the cop when they're going up the stairs and Ross is moving the couch. Everybody knows the word. What's the word that Ross is saying out loud? Put it in the chat box. What is the word that Ross is screaming to Rachel, moving the furniture up the stairs? Put the word, put it now. So I know you're paying attention. That word is pivot. So what my message today really is about is where do you pivot and how do you pivot and why do we pivot to get something with our customers versus nothing at all, versus letting them walk away and not buying an upgrade at all. So I want to talk just about the concept of pivoting. Really all it is, guys, in our lingo as salespeople doing what we do with Cutco, it's dropping down. That's what pivoting is. So pivot, pivot, pivot. So this fair season, I want everybody to think about Ross. Season 5, episode 16, are you pivoting properly in your business? Are you actually helping them get something? You know, the psychology of it is the fact that dropping down, it's a technique that if we all master it and we do it like a boss, like I think Bert gave a message a few years ago, like drop down like a boss. And I never forgot that message. It really like inspired me. If you're giving a customer one option and they're saying no to it and they're giving an objection, I find that it creates more loyalty in your relationship with the customer when you actually dig into that objection, you pivot, you listen to what they say to you, and then you show them a more budget-friendly option. I'm not telling you to not upsell. I'm not telling you to not worry about your average order because I worry about all those things too, and I'm going to get the upsell, but you got to get the credit card first. You got to get the credit card first before you can upsell. So pivot in a way that is graceful and practical for the customer. Here's the deal. We all want to sell the full complete upgrade. The ultimate is a concept. We want everybody to have an ultimate in their kitchen. We want everybody to have a complete kitchen, flatware, everything. But dropping down is going to help you close a sale and get their foot in the door for a upgrade, even if it's not a full upgrade today. The reality is this. When it comes to upgrades, guys, the truth is that an Ulti upgrade is $24.89 worth of retail value. That's where all of us should be quoting the retail value of product missing if they have a homemaker +8, no shears. $24.89 worth of retail value. Let's put the proof in the pudding here. It wasn't that long ago that we were selling ultimates, complete ultimates with steak knives for $24.89 at these state fairs. I want everybody to really think about that, where the price is now. An ultimate upgrade is retail value, a la carte, a la carte, a la carte, every individual piece, plus a block with 4 steak knives, add on the shears. If you went online, Miss Jones, today, you would spend $24.89 to have everything in this set on your counter. And usually people love the knife so much, they want to have it all. The main thing, hopefully if people are taking notes, you'll write this down. The main thing affecting a customer from having an ultimate set of knives on their counter is price. The main thing. It 9 times out of 10 will always come down to budget. It's not the block. I don't care how many customers tell us, I don't want a block that big on my counter. Okay, Miss Jones, sure. We can handle the block size objection so much easier than we can handle the price objection. Raise your hand if you agree. So much easier. The block problem is not a problem. We're making it a problem in our head. Them using the pieces or not using the pieces is not the biggest problem. That is not the main thing keeping people from buying an ultimate upgrade, because who needs that many knives anyway? No one. No one needs 32 knives on their counter. That's not why they buy it. They buy it because they want it and it's got all the new fun toys that we've come out with over the years. It's not the block size. It's not the pieces. It's the price. So what it comes down to, if you want to sell more ultimate upgrades, you've got to attack the retail value. You've got to help them see the value in in the actual full retail amount before you go anywhere else. And everybody needs to remember that. So here's where I go into pivoting. The biggest mistake that I find reps make, and I've been in the booth and I've seen people do it, is they will do a perfect pre-frame of an ulti upgrade. They will do a perfect asking of questions, framing, building up the value. They will nail the value of the 2400 and then offer a sale. You know, the package discount, if you just do the ulti upgrade here at the show, it'd be this much. They show the 5K, they get them interested, and then maybe they bonus free stuff. But what if the customer gives an objection and it's about the price because it's the first package you've showed them? The biggest mistake that I find reps make is that they are lazy. What I mean by they're lazy is they pivot immediately and drop down to a 5-piece. They go from a complete ulti upgrade. We're talking potentially 1,500 to 2,000 CPO, and they go immediately to, oh, well, whatever. They didn't go for the upgrade. At least I can show them a 5-piece and they'll probably get it. When I sell upgrades, there are 3 upgrades that I sell. The first one is a complete upgrade. I pre-frame it from the beginning. I use the brochure. I set the expectation early that you're sitting pretty. This is why everyone's doing this. We make it really easy. It's a package. I do all of that pre-framing. But if they say no, and I handle the objections and I work through the complete upgrade and I get 2 or 3 objections and I can't help solve that for the customer, my next drop down is not a 5-piece. My very next drop down is what I call a partial upgrade. Some people call it a builder upgrade. That's fine if you want to call it that, but I call it a partial. And what it includes is they pick the 5 knives. They still get 4 steak knives. So now it is 9 pieces plus a block. And then we add the shears on. Sometimes I'll bonus the scissors depending on the situation. Sometimes I won't. So that's drop down number 1. It's called a partial upgrade. It comes with 5 pieces and 4 steak knives. Then I go to what I call an upgrade starter. So I have a partial upgrade, then I have an upgrade starter. I don't know if any of you are doing this, but you should be, because I still consider it an upgrade. It's still the same concept. It is less CPO, but you're going to close a lot more of these than you are 5 pieces if you'll actually include it. So if they still handle objections, they say no, they say no, they say no, whatever that is, whatever their objection is, you go to an upgrade starter and they get to pick 3 knives out of the 5 they just showed you. And the way you do that is you gracefully ask them if it's still the price, or it's still, I'm not sure I'd use all of it. I need to talk to my husband, whatever. You handle that objection with, okay, Miss Jones, I'm going to level with you. The reality is some Cutco is better than no Cutco at all. Do you think you're going to get an upgrade one day? And you just do high pitch like that. You just literally say, do you think you're going to get an upgrade one day? And when they say yes, so I'm potentially going to get an upgrade one day, but they're giving you the vibe that it's not today, you basically say, okay, so just, could you be brutally honest with me? Out of the 5 pieces that you just showed me, I showed you the partial upgrade. I'm just curious. Are there 2 knives that you'd be willing to lose? I mean, you've lived this long without any of these pieces. Are there 2 pieces in there that you could just, hold off on and say, I don't really want those right now. I don't need those right now. It's not something that I'm looking for. And then they'll tell you which 2 of the 5 they don't want. And then you show them an upgrade starter. Here's the beauty of an upgrade starter, Miss Jones. You still get the block. We get your foot in the door with your few favorites. That's what I say, few favorites, because it's 3 knives plus a block. And you know what, for the heck of it, because it's not a partial upgrade, it's not a full upgrade, it's a starter upgrade. A lot of people do this. We're still going to give you 2 more of those steak knives that you like. Do you like the bigger ones or you got the little? Boom, 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 boom. Show them in the cart, show them on an iPad, whatever. But it's a drop down that separates the partial upgrade or the builder upgrade that we've all been taught from the 5-piece. It's almost like, here's what I would compare this drop down, this pivot. The people that try to sell a Siggy or an Ultimate, and then they drop to a homemaker, and then they drop from a homemaker to a 5-piece. Why the hell did you skip the galley? Why would you do that? A galley is a great option. Don't skip the galley unless they say something that tells you you need to skip the galley. So I basically created a starter set that is an upgrade, the same way we have a starter set that is a galley. You should never skip that step. You should always include that step, and you can do it very quickly. Pick 3 knives plus a block, 2 steak knives go with it. Then you're finally, if that's not going anywhere and you feel like you're still, at a brick wall, you say, hey, no problem. It just sounds like this isn't a good fit today. Hey, I'm just curious. Those 5 knives that you showed me earlier, could you show me the 2 again? What 2 was it? And then they show you the 2, and then you pitch the 5 piece. You pivot to the 5 piece with a free tray at a fair special discount as a not last drop down. This is not the last drop down at all. Then you go to a buy 3, get 1. Yes, I do. I go from a 5 piece to a what piece would you lose? Buy 3, get 1. Laugh all you want, but it's high CPO, and I'm somehow selling $1 million. So I probably sold a lot of buy 3, get 1s last year. Love on Mike Dawood, but I think my average order is probably a little higher than that. I've joked with him about it. And then the last drop down that I do after the buy 3, get 1 is a get on my list special. So any one federal program, they'll hear me say this. I ask really serious questions of, do you like Cutco? Do you want more Cutco? Could you see how this could save you time and energy in the future if we got you to upgrade today? Hey, just quick question. Handle the objection. And then what happens is if they're just like, I just wasn't interested in getting really anything today, and you feel like you're at that wall of they're about to walk away and not even buy a buy 3, get 1 or a 5 piece, I always ask them, do you want the deal in the future? Ask the question, do you want the deal in the future? I know you said no to the upgrade today. I appreciate your time. Thank you for letting me show you all the options. But the reality, Miss Jones, you're probably going to come to fair every year. You're going to see 1,000 different Cutco reps in the rest of your lifetime. Would you like to work with me? Do you like my style? Do you like the ideas, the programs, the products, everything that I've showed you today? If you do, I have this really cool thing called the Get on My List special. Would you like to hear about it? And then you can get them on your list with whatever that may be for you, whether it's 3 knives only, 2 knives only, 1 knife only, but you get them in your database. And I've seen every person on this state fair team, no kidding, people have sold cutting boards, single pieces, buy 3, get 1s, 5 pieces, and then other people on this team sell upgrades, cookware, flatware, and everything in the book to your customers for you because you got them on your list. So are we going to be lazy when dropping down upgrades and not get to 1 piece? Are we really not going to keep them there and cover all of our bases and actually pivot? How many times did Ross say pivot in that episode? How many times are you pivoting with one customer? I just want to point blank ask everyone that. Really think about your pitch. Are you pivoting once and then letting them go? Or are you pivoting over and over and over and over based on the information that they're giving you and the questions you're asking? It's our job to pivot, to make the couch go up the stairs, to make the deal work for them. Are you pivoting? Or are you just letting them say no to an ultimate upgrade, dropping down to a 5 piece, being really not organized about it? Have a system. And my system for upgrades is to go all the way down to whatever they're comfortable with. And then I upsell back into the ulti upgrade after I get their credit card. This is not an upselling message, but you need to find one of those 6 areas and get them on your list, no matter what. Okay, the last part of my message, I really wanted to come up with some one-liners for you guys, things that I say, things that I do, and some mindsets that I have. So I narrowed it down to 4 things that I do when I'm selling upgrades. This can help you sell more upgrades, more partial upgrades, more starter upgrades, and help you pivot more in your upgrade approach. So the first thing that is absolutely most key, if you're going to not only close more upgrades, because they are a high ticket item, they're as much as an ultimate used to be years ago. They're as much as a CD with steak knives almost now. I mean, you could sell a CD with steak knives and they could spend about the same amount on an ulti upgrade. It just depends how you swing it. So number 1, I always have the mindset with every single customer of embracing empathy. When I say embrace empathy, is for me, what I will say to a customer, I will look them straight in the face when they give me an objection. I can see there's a lot of pushback. I will basically explain to them after the entire pitch. I said, hey, listen, I understand our roles here. I'm on this side of the booth as a salesperson. You're on that side of the booth as a potential customer. You had no intention of coming to the fair today and buying expensive knives. But just so you know, I get that you're a human being. I'm also a human being. And based on what you've told me today, the real reason that this package isn't right for you is because blank. And then you repeat whatever their objection was back to them. I have found that every time I define the roles of, hey, I understand how this probably sounds. I'm on this side of the booth. You're on that side of the booth. You're a potential customer. I'm a salesperson. There's a lot of people that don't trust salespeople. But Miss Jones, you're a human being, and I'm also a human being. So how about you just tell me what I've showed you today that you're most interested in and what you really want? How about I just cut out the rest of the demo and we just get you a really good deal on that? How does that sound? And I look them in the eye when I say that. Define yourself not as a salesperson at our booths this fair season. Define yourself by the type of human being that you're being to these other human beings. Yes, they have a wallet. Yes, they have a credit card. Yes, we want to play games with it and take it and get lots and lots of success. But the truth is, these are people, and we should be people focused first on having empathy and helping people, not just helping our own agenda. And when we really connect with people on that level, a humanity level, watch how many more upgrades you sell. Watch how many more partial upgrades you sell. Watch how many more people come back year after year and won't even let like other people help them at the booth. They're standing there and they're waiting and they're like, no, I'll wait for her. She's my girl. I'll stand here for 5 minutes and wait. I've seen people do it with Josh. I've seen people do it with Brian. I've seen people do it with Calvin. I'll be standing there ready to help the next customer. And they're like, no, we're here for Calvin. We'll wait. You know, all of us have those strengths. But are you building that loyalty of trust? So number one, you got to embrace empathy, guys. Number two, I would like everyone this fair season, hopefully, to build a mindset of average order is important, service first, have this empathy, but also to have a mindset at the State Fair of Texas and Oklahoma and Tulsa. Number two, some Cutco is better than no Cutco at all. Some Cutco is better than no Cutco at all. I think it's our job as human beings to normalize helping a customer get something smaller, even if the budget will not allow them to do an entire package that maybe we want them to get. And that's all in our questions. We have to ask more questions to identify if this is even affordable for them or not. It is not our job to sell people things that they can't afford. That's where canceled orders come from. And that's where distrust comes from. That's where we're just being salespeople and having our own agenda in place. I love asking that question that I prefaced earlier. If a customer is giving me if they're giving me the objection of not right now, it's, you know, the price or the pieces or the whatever. Before they walk away from the booth, I love asking the question, hey, Miss Jones, before I let you go, I know we've discovered a lot of stuff today or discussed a lot of things today. Do you see yourself doing an upgrade eventually? Is that something that you'd even be open to? I mean, I know you didn't know it was a program until today and I shared it with you, but is that something you'd even be open to? And 9 times out of 10, they usually say yes. So then I go to number 3. Number 3, this is one of my mindsets that I always have, and I'm selling more upgrades because of it. The frame of the intention. You've got to frame the intention. You've got to gracefully explain to the customer why you keep talking to them, why you're keeping them at the booth, why you're trying to help them get one piece. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like selling one piece because it affects your average order. I want to pop that fear bubble and help people understand the power of getting them on your list and selling one piece, because here's the reality. You tell the customer, hey, listen, I'm so grateful for you for buying those 3 knives. I'm so grateful for you for getting started with a partial upgrade today, because now, Miss Jones, you're going to be set up for the future and we will finish this out when you're ready. Now that's like promised orders for the future. They're going to look at those holes in the block, and every time they look at them, they're coming to get a 5-piece from you at Christmas time. They're coming to get a 5-piece from you at the State Fair of Texas. You have to explain to them that that's going to make you their rep, and you being their rep gets them XYZ. Service events, free shipping if you want to ship their knives back to the factory, all of these things. Frame the intention of them getting something today, even if it's the smaller upgrade, the partial upgrade, pivoting to that. Make sure they understand that your intention is that you're here to build clients for life. You're not here to sell them one time and never see or hear from them again. You want to make sure that when they think of Cutco, they think of you. And buying this now means that it's going to make their full upgrade more affordable when they're ready. That builds trust. Last but not least, number 4, after all of us find in that drop-down method, whether you're selling a complete upgrade, a partial upgrade, a starter, pieces, whatever, when you hone in on the right package and you ask them, hey, I'm just curious, of all the things I've showed you today, is this the right package? And if you had all of that, would you even use it? Could you see how these pieces, you'd love them just as much as you'd love that other set for the rest of your life, Miss Jones? If they say yes, 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 but you're still getting the uncertainty and they're still not pulling the credit card out, here's my favorite new close that I've been using since last year. I started using this about in the summer of last year, maybe the spring of last year, and it's my new favorite, and it utilizes the app. Raise your hand on this call if everybody knows the green thumb, the yellow thumb, the red thumb. Okay, well, here's how I pitch it, and I don't know if you pitch it this way, but here's how I pitch it, and I close 80 to 90% of the time when I get to this point. Now, I don't always get to this point. I don't do the red thumb, green thumb every time. But when I hone in on the right package, whatever size upgrade that is for them, here's how some call me the spider. Here's how I go in for the kill in a good way. I mean that in a good way, like a soft, cute spider, Here's how I help them get it. I say, hey, Miss Jones, I want to give you a behind the scenes experience. Most salespeople aren't going to flip their computer around and show you all that. I just want to show you something really, really cool. You see this green thumb right here? Have you ever been at a green light? And they go, yeah. I'm like, yeah. What does green light mean? It means go. Yeah. Have you ever been at a red light? And they go, yeah. I'm like, what does red light mean? They're like, stop. I'm like, yeah. So what does a yellow light mean? And they're like, go faster. I'm like, no, it doesn't mean go faster. It means slow down. And they're like, yeah, whatever, possible. I'm like, listen, do you like Cutco? Yes. Do you like this package? Yes. If you ever were to get an upgrade, are we looking at the right option for you? Yes. Well, Miss Jones, based on everything you've told me today, I am taught by Cutco to sell in the green thumb. That's what I'm taught to sell in. I've been to trainings for 14 years straight. I've been to sales conference after sales conference after sales conference. I am taught to sell in the green. I cannot sell in the red. That is no-go zone. That means I've spent all my profit. I can't do that. And the company gives me a big red flag down sign because I shouldn't be doing that. Miss Jones, that's bad. Don't run the red light on your rep today. I'll tell you what I'll do. If you're really serious about it, you answered yes to all of my questions, you really want this upgrade, how about I meet you in the middle? I'm not going to write you a ticket for running a yellow light, but I can at least look the other way and Cutco won't say anything either. Can I show you what the yellow light would be? And then I start bonusing different items to get them into the yellow. And as soon as it turns yellow before it turns red, you close 700 CPO, 1,000 CPO, 1,500 CPO, 2,000 CPO, and you're selling lots more upgrades, a lot more packages, and it adds up to $1 million year. I probably do the red light, green light, yellow light 25, 30% of the time. It closes orders. If you're not utilizing the green thumb at your advantage, you have to, and you can even preset the Cutco Orders app to fit your needs and your desires of what those discounts look like. So we should all be using the app to our advantage because it builds so much trust with our customers because they understand it. They understand that you're willing to work with them and give them a deal, but there is a threshold and you will not go over it. And they trust that and they honor it and they want to say yes to it because they can see that you go out of your way to help them get an upgrade. So here's the proof in the pudding, guys. You got to embrace empathy. These are human beings we're selling to. Don't have your agenda. Go out of your way to express to them that, yeah, I'm a salesperson, you're a customer, but I'm here to help you above all else. and I want you to use me for years and years to come. You need to have the mindset of some Cutco's better than no Cutco.
Oh, is that a walk-off?
Freeze frame.
Freeze frame. By the way, no one looks good freeze frame, but she looks better than I do when I get freeze framed. That's just a fact. Roger, I keep seeing people walking behind you, and I think they're like, "Oh, that's your wife." Well, we'll give it a quick sec, see if she bounces back. But I think that was a walk-off home run on that message. Chelsea, can I just ask you? You did such a good job of talking about like the different levels of of how you can pivot. And that was just such a next level way to think about this. But can I just ask, beyond just your own experience and expertise, how do you know when to stay? Like how do you know when is the right time to pivot off of, like that full thing versus just when do you need to kind of go through the objection cycle with them to sort of let their concerns be heard? Like, do you have any other thoughts that you can just sort of unpack on that real quick? And then we'll go to Anthony next.
Yeah, body language. You can learn a lot from what your customers are saying to you by what they're doing with their body. If I see a customer crossing their arms, I literally address the elephant in the room and I go, "Oh no, Mr. Jones. Oh my God, do you see what your wife is doing? Her arms are crossed." They teach us on day one of sales training that if a customer crosses their arms, it's not good. So tell me, is it not good? Are we just not interested in this? Because if you're not interested, just let me know. It won't bother me at all. I just need to know. Can you tell me? So I just acknowledge it. I acknowledge their body language. And I also just listen to what they're really saying. If they're saying, I'm going to think about it, it just really means that they have to talk to their spouse, or it's too much money, or they're unsure of something in the package. So you ask those questions and you identify what the real objection is. And then you attack that head on in a very kind, empathetic way.
Nice. Nice. I love that. I love that. That's not the answer I was expecting. That's way better than what I was expecting.